All right, let's talk about it. It's probably one of the most common questions people have about Formula One, but one that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. It gets right to the heart of what it means to be an elite athlete pushed to the absolute limit. Today, we're finding out if F1 drivers really pee in their suits.
So let's dive right in. I mean, think about it, right? These are some of the fittest athletes on the planet in these incredible multi-million-dollar machines. But this is a very human question at the center of a superhuman sport. And the answer, well, it reveals a lot more than you might think about the physical and mental extremes of F1.
But before we can get to the plumbing of it all, we really need to understand the environment we're talking about. To get why this is even a thing, we have to step inside the F1 cockpit.
Yeah, calling it a car doesn't really do it justice. For up to 2 hours, these drivers are strapped into this unbelievably tight space, enduring conditions that are just hostile. It pushes the human body right to its breaking point.
First off, let's talk about the heat. And get this, it can hit 60 degrees Celsius in there. That's 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Even on a relatively cool day, the heat pouring off the engine and the electronics turns that tiny little space into an absolute sauna.
Because of that crazy heat, a driver can sweat out up to 5 kilograms of their body weight in a single race. That's over 11 pounds of fluid, so you can see why staying hydrated isn't just a suggestion for these guys. It is absolutely critical for performance and, honestly, for their safety.
And then there are the G-forces. We're talking up to 6 Gs. Just try to imagine 6 times your own body weight crushing down on you every single time you take a high-speed corner. It's an insane amount of strain on every single part of your body. So, to fight off that dehydration, they have a drink system built into the car with a little tube that feeds right into their helmet. They're constantly sipping on this special mix of water and electrolytes to replace everything they're sweating out. And, well, I think you know where this is going. All of that liquid going in has to come out. And this is where the problem really escalates. We're moving beyond just being uncomfortable and into a serious conversation about safety and performance. It's this wild catch-22, you know? They have to drink constantly. If they get dehydrated, their concentration plummets, their reaction times slow down, and at 200 miles an hour, that's a recipe for disaster. But the solution to that problem creates a whole new, very urgent one. And this is exactly why just holding it isn't a great option. Under those 6 Gs of force, a full bladder goes from uncomfortable to intensely painful. It's a huge distraction. And even worse, in a crash, where the G-forces can spike over 50 Gs, a full bladder could actually rupture. So yeah, this is serious stuff. Okay, so the problem is clear. The stakes are incredibly high. It's distracting, it's painful, it's even dangerous. So what on earth do they do? The moment of truth. The simple answer is yes, some of them do. They urinate right there in their multi-thousand-dollar fire-resistant race suits. No secret button, no hidden tube. It's exactly as basic as it sounds. It is a surprisingly low-tech solution for the most high-tech sport on the planet. There's no special gear for this. No catheters like you see in some other forms of motorsport. The drivers who do it, they just let go. And that intense cockpit heat we talked about, well, it apparently helps things dry out pretty quickly. But, and this is a big but, not every driver is willing or even able to do it. And this is where the human element really kicks in, because it turns out the paddock is completely divided on how to handle this unique professional hazard. Let's start with a legend, Michael Schumacher. According to Lewis Hamilton, Schumacher's mechanics told him that Michael did it every single time he was in the car. It was just part of his routine. He was so at one with the machine that it just didn't faze him. So you basically have 2 camps on the grid. In the Yes Club, you've got legends like Schumacher and current drivers like Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton is also in there, though he admits to only doing it once. But then you have the Hold It Club, and it's a strong one, with big names like Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, and even Max Verstappen who say absolutely not, no way. Lewis's story is really interesting. For years, he swore he'd never done it. But he finally admitted that during one race in Singapore, under a safety car, the discomfort got so bad it was becoming a dangerous distraction. He said he literally had to force himself to do it, and that it was incredibly difficult to mentally overcome. Then you have the complete opposite side of the coin with a guy like Daniel Ricciardo. He says he physically can't do it. His mind just won't let his body relax enough, so he has no choice but to endure the pain. And his friend Lando Norris, he just calls the drivers who do it weirdos. So it really just boils down to two different mindsets clashing under the most extreme pressure imaginable. Are you the pragmatist, the driver who will do whatever it takes to eliminate a distraction and stay safe? Or is the mental block just too high to get over?
It might seem like a funny, maybe slightly awkward question, but it's actually a powerful window into just how deep the challenge of being an F1 driver runs. It shows that every single human factor, hydration, focus, psychology, even bladder control, has to be perfectly managed to compete at this insane level. So, the next time you're watching a Grand Prix and you're thinking about tire strategy and pit stops, maybe you'll also be thinking about basic biology. It adds this whole new, very human layer to one of the most technologically advanced sports on Earth. And it's a great reminder that inside those incredible machines are just people, dealing with a very familiar problem in a very, very unfamiliar world.